everyone! I wanted to do one more sketching session outside before the summer ends. I drew lupines outdoors in June while they were flowering, and by the time I was filming this, at the end of August, they were done flowering and most of the seed pods had already opened and the seeds had scattered around. So I was at the summer cottage and I picked out a few curved and dried up lupine seed pods from the garden, put them in a container along with some other seed pods and packed up my drawing supplies and filming gear and headed down to the lake. I was using the IKEA breakfast tray as my desk as I was sitting on the pier. You can fold in the legs so it's easier to carry. I took my sketchbook and packed a mechanical pencil, a few graphite pencils from H to 8B, although I think the softest one I used was 4B, a sharpener, an eraser and a kneaded eraser in a pencil case. I also took the paper stump for blending, just in case, but didn't end up using it. I sketched out the outline of the seed pod with a light H pencil, then cleaned up the lines with a small eraser of the mechanical pencil and darkened the outline and added some curves and dents where the seeds had been. Once the outline was okay, I started shading the whole seed pod with the H pencil and then adding some darker shading with a softer 4B. I erased small white dots for the stems of the seeds. One more layer of darker shading and then I tried adding a few highlights with the kneaded eraser. After that I went on to sketch a couple more interesting looking seed pods. This time I didn't have to set up the tripod in the lake since the sketchbook was small enough to have the camera closer and keep the tripod on the pier. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to keep the tripod in water anyway. Lately it's been making this grinding noise when I adjust the legs, so I wonder if I got sand inside it or something. I also bought a new tripod online last winter since this one is kind of broken and the new one actually arrived rusty and I had to return it. So I think if you do use it in water, you have to let it dry well afterwards before retracting the legs. I realized at some point that the seed pods are actually hairy, so I started adding thin lines on the outside layers of the pods with the mechanical pencil. It might be fun to add some more seed pods like the columbine and red campion I also got from the garden into this sketch and turn it into a pattern. I didn't even try recording any audio while drawing since the wind was so strong. I hope I get to film an ASMR sketching video actually on the pier, surrounded by water once though. The filming setup is just going to be a bit trickier than this. And speaking of ASMR videos, I finally decided to divide my channel in two and so I made a new channel for ASMR. I'll make an announcement video about it here soon once I have the channel up and running. But if you like my ASMR videos, you can already go and subscribe. The link is in the info card on the video and in the description below. And there'll be a channel trail up soon if it isn't already. Thanks for watching. Bye!